You know that feeling when nothing happens, but you're not the same afterward? You're going to think I'm exaggerating. I would. But listen, I didn't see a fight. No spells, no shouting, no city falling apart again. That's what makes it worse. I was cutting through the old Forum ruins, just passing through. You know how I hate long roads. The place still smells like smoke, even when nothing's burned there for weeks. Two figures were already inside. One of them was a Saiyan. You could tell before he spoke. Stance too wide, hands like they were still expecting resistance. The kind of person who looks like the moment stops behaving when he enters it. The other was an elf. Not the dramatic kind, no glow, no posture, just still. Like time sat more comfortably around them. I stayed quiet. Not hiding exactly, more like becoming less noticeable on purpose. They were talking. Not loudly, not politely either. The Saiyan kept saying things like, action mattered more than waiting, that when something's burning, you don't debate the temperature, you move. You accept what happens next, because at least you were there when it mattered. He talked about stories we all know. Warriors who didn't kneel. Fighters who stood up even when standing cost them everything. Not as heroes, as proof. The elf didn't interrupt, just listened. And when they spoke, it wasn't to deny it. That surprised me. They talked about what happens after the fire, after the choice, after the part everyone remembers. They talked about memory, how it's heavier than action because it never ends, how restraint isn't cowardice, it's fear of being wrong forever. They had their own stories too, not about winning, about surviving long enough to clean up. And here's the thing, neither of them was lying. That's what hit me. The Saiyan wasn't bloodthirsty. He didn't enjoy destruction. He sounded tired of being blamed for moving when no one else would. The elf wasn't smug. They weren't preaching patience. They sounded tired of watching people act and then leave others to live in the aftermath. At one point, they stopped talking. Not angrily, just empty. Like they'd both said the best version of their argument and realized it didn't cancel the other out. I felt my chest tighten. Not fear, recognition. Because suddenly I could see it clearly. People like the Saiyan save moments. People like the elf protect timelines. And people like us? We live in the space neither of them owns. I didn't agree with either of them more than the other. I still don't. But I felt relief, real relief. Because no one asked me to choose. Nothing happened, no verdict, no decision. They turned away and left the ruin the way they came. But something did happen. I walked out knowing that every time something goes wrong, this argument is already waiting underneath it. That people don't fight because they're cruel. They fight because they're afraid of different futures. And for the first time in a while, that didn't make me angry. It made me calmer. Like I finally understood why the world keeps breaking in the same places. So yeah, nothing big happened. But I don't think I'll ever hear those stories the same way again. Anyway, thanks for listening. I needed to say it out loud before it turned into something heavier. Want another drink?